channel. If you are new here, my name is Relly. I am a queer disabled YA author, and my debut novel, There's a Badge for That, is coming out on May 23rd, 2025. Super exciting. Today's video, I am filming essentially in the dark. It is pouring rain outside. It is so dark out, but I realized I don't have a video for this week. I'm going to give a update on There's a Badge for That, where I'm at with that. And then I'm also going to tell you the other things that are coming up, because you can only talk about one book for so long. So there are other things that we can get into. So I'm going to use my notes because otherwise I'm going to forget something, and then when I'm editing, I'm going to be annoyed. Last we spoke, I was doing the title reveal and I wasn't done my final revisions yet. So I did finally finish those. It was only 2 weeks longer than I had planned and allotted for, which, considering the start I had to 2025, is actually pretty great, but I definitely could have used those 2 weeks to do other things. So yeah, not great that I was 2 weeks behind, but they're done finally. And now I am proofreading because I have already finished my formatting too. I actually finished my formatting, the majority of it, the night I finished my edits, because I finished my edits and I was like, okay, let's do the fun part. Like, I've been looking forward to formatting for months. So I jumped right into formatting, and Vellum is so easy to use that it was just such a quick process for me. So I did the majority of it that night. I had to finish up a couple more things the next morning. I think it was Friday morning. And that included writing my about the author, which I had been putting off forever. I had all my other pages written like weeks ago because I kept using those to procrastinate doing my edits. And I was like, oh, well, I need to write like my acknowledgements and I need to write this page. So I had everything else done except my about the author, because I was like, I have no idea what I want to say here. I would like to be a funny person, and I'm just sort of not. I do get, you know, the odd one-liner in there that makes somebody laugh, but I'm not what you would consider to be like a funny human. But I wanted my author bio to be something that people would read and enjoy, you know, whether they got a laugh or thought something was really interesting or whatever. So I was really apprehensive to write it. But I sat down on Friday morning and literally banged it out in like 15 minutes. So that was great. Love that for me. So then I finished my formatting. I am waiting for one thing to come in from my cover designer that's going on the inside of the book. I moved on from formatting to proofreading on Friday, and I'm now behind because I haven't proofread all weekend. So that's not great. I'm behind again, but I'm doing more editing than proofreading, to be honest. I think just because I have spent 4 years revising this book, either in a Word doc, just scrolling down an endless white page, or I have done a couple drafts where I actually printed the entire book and hand revised with red pen. I do prefer that for my eyes for sure, but it then takes twice as long because I'm like doing it by hand, and then I still have to go into the book and scroll through and make all the edits. So which one's better? I don't really know. But this is the first time I'm actually revising in a book format. And I know that a lot of people actually turn their manuscript into an EPUB way earlier on in the process so that they can do a revision based on reading it like a book. And I think I probably will do that with my next novel, because I'm finding it so helpful, even though it's an ebook, to feel like I'm reading a book. And as I'm reading it, I'm finding like issues where the sentence doesn't flow perfectly or whatever. So I am doing a little bit more editing than I was hoping to be doing in the proofreading stage, but it's all really minor tweaks. It's like swapping a word for a better one or taking a word out of a sentence, that kind of thing. It's really just like tightening up and making everything flow really smoothly. So is that considered proofreading? No. I'm not just looking for typos, but that's where I'm at. I'm essentially proofreading. That's really exciting. It feels like it's taken forever to get to this part of the process. So I'm really glad that I am proofreading, but let's talk about what's coming after proofreading, because that's the more exciting part. So the cover reveal is coming up later this month. I have my ebook cover, and I have seen the first pass of my full paperback cover. I'm just waiting to get the second pass back after a couple little tweaks. So that's very exciting. And then, as I said, I need that like interior thing that I'm waiting for. And then my cover designer is also doing some marketing images for me. So hopefully that will all be done in time for my cover reveal later this month. So that'll be the next thing, the next big exciting thing. But something that did happen this weekend was that my book ended up on Goodreads. So that's super exciting. I got the book up on Friday and then applied for the author program, and Saturday morning yesterday morning I woke up and my author profile had been approved. So I'm official on Goodreads, my book is official on Goodreads. It's very exciting. And I can't wait to put the cover up there because I'm hoping that people aren't seeing it on Goodreads and being like, is this your cover? Because it's not, it's a temporary placeholder. But I made the mistake of making the temporary placeholder too nice looking, I think, because people have questioned if it's my cover or not. It doesn't even have my name on it, so it's not my cover, but I know people typically just do like a black rectangle and then the title in white, like basic plain font, so that people know it's not actually the cover. But my bad, I wanted it to be pretty so that when I posted it places it was pretty. So the book's on Goodreads. I will have that link down below. Please go add it to your want to read shelf. Why is it called a want to read shelf? Why isn't it called a TBR shelf? That is, I think, besides being owned by Amazon, that is my biggest pet peeve with Goodreads. Like, why is it not called a TBR shelf? So please add it to your want to read shelf. Even if you're a viewer of mine that doesn't actually read YA and don't plan to read my book, I totally get that. There are genres that people I watch on AuthorTube that I don't read, so I probably am never going to read their book, but it still supports the author. The more shelves it's added to, I think that helps boost it in the algorithm so more people see it. So I would really appreciate that, even if you don't plan to read it. You should though. It's fun and sad and all the things. So I can only talk about There's a Badge for That for so long. And at this point, it's been 4.5 years. So let's talk about something else for a minute. I am writing a new book. I have not started yet, obviously, because I am deep in the trenches with getting this book published, but I'm going to be writing a new book in the spring. I really wanted to be able to draft it for the Rough Draft Challenge in April with Sarah Canon, but I don't think I'm going to be ready just because of how much like background publishing stuff I have to do, and because it's my first time through it, I know it's going to take me longer to do everything, and I know there's going to be stuff later down the road that I'm going to forget about and then be panicking about and then having to do, and I just don't want to be trying to stick to a challenge schedule while I'm still trying to figure all that out. Before I knew about the Rough Draft Challenge, my original plan had been to draft this book through the summer because I won't be homeschooling the kids. They'll just be hanging out, playing outside, doing all those things. So I'll have that extra time. And the summer is when my body and my brain function the best. So that's always a good time for me to be trying to be creative. So that was my original plan, and I think I'll probably stick to that. I might actually use the Rough Draft Challenge to plot the novel instead, because that's something where I can just sit down and do half an hour here, half an hour there. And I do actually have the majority of the plot, like the main plot points, figured out already. So most of what I still need to figure out is subplots and, you know, tying this scene together with this scene and that sort of thing. I don't actually need to do a whole ton of plotting, which is great. So my new project is called Project AAO, and I actually already have a tentative title for it, which is cool because if you watched my title reveal, you know what a catastrophe the Project Camp title almost was. So yeah, I love that I'm going into it with an idea of a title. It may change by the time I publish, but I think I have a title, so that's cool, and I am feeling good about it. I also have my next book sort of figured out. That one's called Project Blood. I'm hoping that I can draft that one in the fall. If I can draft and revise Project AAO quickly enough, then I can get it out to betas in the fall and draft Project Blood while betas have it. So that's like my ideal writing year for this year. Obviously when Project AAO comes back from betas, then I'll do another round of revisions, probably let it sit while I hopefully do the first round of revisions for Project Blood, and then, you know, just keep switching back and forth until AAO is ready to publish, and then Project Blood will be ready to publish. In a perfect world, I would publish AAO June of 2026 and then publish Project Blood in September, October of 2026. But A, that is very dependent on how my summer and fall go and winter. And B, I also don't know that I want to set myself up as a 2 books a year author, because I don't think that'll be sustainable long term. My pots is potsing. I need to sit, so 1 minute. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, you're in my way. Opie soul, I need to sit there. You look so mad. I need to sit there. In a perfect world, that would be my writing, revising, publishing schedule for the next 2 years. Do I think it's realistic? Probably not. So in my head, my goal is to get Project AAO ready to publish for next June. Like, that's the main goal. If I get a draft or 2 done of Project Blood on top of that, that's amazing, but it's not something I'm counting on. So ideally, yes, Project AAO will be out next June. Super exciting. It'll be really nice to have a book go from start to finish in 1 year because I will be starting drafting June 1st. So yeah, that'll be really nice to not be going back and forth, and I want to use strong language, but I'm not going to, messing around with a book for that long, a manuscript for that long. So that's what you can expect from me post There's a Badge for That. Hopefully I'll be able to get some content up while I'm doing some of that plotting before There's a Badge for That is published, so that not everything is just about that book. I would also love to get like a reading vlog and, you know, some other content up, but right now I'm spending all my time on this publishing process, and hopefully that means next year when I do it again, everything will be way faster because I will have done it already and know exactly what I'm doing. So that's the plan. But getting back to There's a Badge for That, the cover reveal is coming and I need people to help me reveal it. So if you would like to post my cover on your social media, that would be lovely. I would love that. There is a link down below to a Google form. It has like 3 questions. Like, it's not an extensive thing. It's not going to take you more than a minute. And then I will just email you the stuff and you can choose your caption and all the things. So if you want to sign up and help me out with that, that'd be great. Please do that. The link is down below. And after the cover reveal, I will be posting a link for ARC readers, which is really nerve-wracking. 5 people have read varying drafts of There's a Badge for That over the last 4 years, and it's really scary to put it out in the world for like a lot of people to potentially read. Will a lot of people read it? I don't know. I hope that they do, but just the fact that anyone that knows me or doesn't know me could order it into their library or their local indie or order it from Chapters or whatever, like, that's terrifying. I was doing really well with the imposter syndrome for a few weeks there. Since the last time I talked about imposter syndrome, I think I was in this position exactly. I was doing really well for a couple weeks. You know, I'm doing all these revisions and making it better and I think it's gonna be good. And now that I'm proofreading it again and still finding things that I want to change, I'm like panicking. Like, is this actually as good as I hope it is? You know, are people gonna like it? I don't know. So yeah, the imposter syndrome is back full force, but there will be ARC reader signups is where I was going with that train of thought. I will link that link down below when the time comes. And what comes after that? Then I guess I publish the book, right? It's coming up fast. I'm at less than 10 weeks. This Friday that just passed was 10 weeks until pub day. So it's coming up fast. I'm excited to get it published. I'm excited to start working on Project AAO. And I'm just excited to be here and making content, and hopefully I can make some different content soon. There's a Badge for That comes out May 23rd. You will be able to find it wherever books are sold, not just the monopolizer we won't talk about. And I hope that you love it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.